Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Verbal Nonsense Podcast. I am Todd.
And I am Joel.
All right, and what are we? Episode 9 or something like
8.
that? 8? You sure it's only 8? I think it's. I don't know. It feels like forever. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna dip right in. I saw a fun fact last night. It's might be widely known. I'm sure it is because the song is epic. But the song "Coconut," the song she puts the lime in the coconut. That
Yeah.
song. It only has one chord in the entire song. Do you know this?
I was not aware. I guess I never listened to it enough.
It makes it the only one chord song to ever reach the Billboard charts.
Huh.
It got to number 8 in 1972. I saw that last night for some off reason. While I was actually searching this kind of viral story that's going around Facebook about the slime mold. Have you seen that on Facebook? Have people shared it with you? A
No.
million people have shared it with me, or at least all two of my friends on Facebook, because I'm kind of a Facebook recluse. Uh, Oddly enough, both of Joel's account and his fake account is my only two friends on Facebook.
my fake account.
Yeah, yeah, you know that you got the account for your wife and then that account for your life. Not trying to start anything. It's just a fun joke. No, uh,
Oh my goodness.
no offense to people who are actually my friends on Facebook. But no, I've seen it a few times. Paris. Boy, if I was smart, I would actually wrote down the name of the zoo. But it's a French zoo, so I can't pronounce it, and I don't feel like butchering it today, so I'm not going to look it up. But the French have decided to put this organism on display at their zoo. Now, science has not confirmed whether this is a fungus or if this is an animal. They're not sure what it is, honestly. It's best described as a slime mold. They're calling it the blob. It is exactly what it sounds like from the old movie The Blob. Their specimens are considerably smaller and not town consuming. But for those of you who have not read the article, it can eat, it can drink, it can do both of these things. It can detect food. It does not have any internal organs or a mouth.
Apparently, it can heal itself and has
Mm-hmm.
720 sexes.
Yeah, you're
What?
really jumping ahead there.
Sorry, that was the title I saw.
Well, yeah, I mean, it pretty much wraps up the entire thing in the title there. But they're finding that it can also learn. What they're doing is they're putting these things into rat mazes, essentially, and it'll fairly quickly find the quickest way to food, um, no matter how complex the maze is. Now, they did a test where they put two in separate parts of the mazes. They met and then followed each other to the food. Um, and incidentally, when they met, the one that was heading in the direction where the other slime mold had come from, that one turned around because essentially what they're saying is that they spoke to each other and the other slime mold was like, not that way, bud. And the other one said, well, it's not this way. So they both traveled in a different direction together. It's a little creepy to me. Uh, but the 720 sexes thing, um, I might be an idiot. I had to get on Reddit and get on to the explain it like I'm five subreddit to find out about this. Essentially, human beings have two chromosomes, X and Y. Um, in theory, for the explanation, the slime mold has A, B, C, D, E, and F. And so essentially, with the combinations of those comes the 720, and that's where they get the 720 sexes.
Dang.
Excuse me. Yeah, but we all know that's alien life, people. I mean,
Oh wow.
but yeah, you can cut it in half and it will completely heal itself. It'll completely rejoin and heal within minutes. It's
Yeah, it says it can split into different organisms and then rejoin.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep, it moves. It has no feet, but it can move. It thinks, obviously.
4 centimeters per hour.
Yeah. I mean, this sounds like a very short time. It's a little less than 2 inches per hour, but last time I lost an arm, it was gone forever. I haven't lost an arm, but I'm sure if I did lose an arm, it would be gone forever. I don't think they reattach those things very well. It's not a very successful operation. I'm out of soda already. But I'm unless you got something to add to that, I thought it was interesting. Um,
Definitely interesting.
little creepy. I hope they keep it behind glass. I'm not sure how these things grow. They're not sure exactly where they come from. I don't know. There is a long scientific name for it. Not gonna attempt it.
Aw.
Nope, not today. Mostly because I didn't write it down and I don't feel like looking it up. But you got anything you want to add to that at all? What are your thoughts on the old slime mold?
Definitely creepy, and I'm glad it moves slowly.
Yeah, I think with those 120 sexes, it's got a lot better chance on Tinder than I do.
720.
Whatever.
Fair enough.
I don't know. One of the people who shared it with me was just trying to be politically belligerent about it and was like, oh, see here? And I was like, yeah, it's got 6 chromosomes. That's how it gets that. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about all their noise on that one. But anyway, what do you got?
What do you know about the DB Cooper?
DB Cooper. It's a cool name.
That's the man in the 70s who hijacked a plane very quietly. None of the passengers were hipped into it. And he asked for $200,000 in ransom. They arranged it. They landed the plane, and he actually pulled it off.
What? They gave him the money and he got away?
All right. Well, let me
Okay,
tell
so
about
he
it.
didn't get away from it.
Oh, he did.
Oh,
He's
so
never been caught, never been identified. They call him DB Cooper. He purchased a ticket under the alias Dame Cooper.
okay.
It ended up turning into DB Cooper due to misinformation from the media. But anyway, um, so November 24th, 1971, he purchases an airline ticket and he gets on the plane, just middle-aged man in a suit. And shortly after the flight started, when the air hostess comes over and he hands her a note. Well, she figured he was just sliding a phone number and she threw it in her purse. And he ends up calling her back over and whispering to her, like, hey, you need to look at that. I have a bomb. And
Oh boy.
and then, she looks at it. And then she sits, he instructs her to sit down next to him, and she does. And he very calmly, she has to see it. So he opens the briefcase, and she said it looked like he had some dynamite, some wires, and a power source in there. Uh, and then he closed it back up, and she went and informed the pilot. The note he had given her also had his list of demands. Uh, and apparently, so it was arranged
Some
for them to stop
demands
at a
like,
certain.
I don't want the peanuts you give the normies. I want the good peanuts from the back.
Well, not only did he ask for $200,000, he asked for 4 parachutes, 2 primaries, and 2 backups. And
Okay.
and so they land in an airport. Uh, the owner of the airport, he's the one who arranged for to pay the ransom.
Weird.
And Now, the passengers were never told what was going on. They were just told that they were landing because of technical difficulties of the plane. Passengers were let off. Uh, now, DB Cooper, he stayed in the cockpit. And when they landed, he had them shade all the windows so that no snipers could take them out. And so the money was put on the plane. They took back off. He told them to head towards Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, they were up by like Seattle.
What?
And he told them to head
Oh.
towards Mexico. And when they got between Oregon and Washington, roughly, he had used parachute strings from one parachute to attach the bag of money to himself. And then he used the other two parachutes, a primary and a backup, and he jumped out of the plane. And he went down into a forest and never been found.
That's interesting. I'm sure they searched the area. I'm sure they searched the area pretty hard.
They investigated.
You know,
they didn't suspend the investigation until 2016. That's how long they were looking at that.
It's I wonder how much money they spent to find $250,000.
Well, that was back in 1971. Today's equivalent, that's about 1.2 million.
Okay, so how much money did they spend looking for 1.2 million? I'm just saying, the cost outweighs the reward in this one.
Apparently, in the 80s, some kids stumbled upon a small chunk of cash that apparently was from that stash of money.
Maybe fell out. Yeah. He might have. He probably fell and got attacked by bears. He probably got away with it and got attacked by bears, and he died just moments after touching down.
I don't know, man. The guy sounded like he was pretty informative of what was going on.
Perfect plan, and then Smokey the bear knocks him over the head with a shovel and
takes the money for himself.
And Yogi Bear gets mad because he doesn't have any picnic baskets, and
with all that money, he can buy a whole lot of picnic baskets.
He could, and honey, because I'm sure Winnie the Pooh was also there. I don't know. There's a large bear population there up in Washington and Oregon, isn't there? I'm kind of debating on whether was it halfway to Oregon or halfway to Mexico would be California, but it sounds like he was still kind of still in Washington or Oregon.
Yeah, he didn't wait that long. He just pointed the plane in that direction and then failed.
Go that way. See ya, suckers.
Apparently, that small cache of ransom bills they found along the banks of the Columbia River.
He didn't make it. That poor guy.
I don't know. That was just a small portion. I mean, he had it all in one bag.
I don't think he would have. Okay, if you got away with $250,000, would you let any of that go? I wouldn't. I wouldn't be just chunking cash out somewhere. A small portion. What's a small portion? Like $100 or $1,000? Is it a full? What do they call it when they tape in? A bundle? I don't know. Never had that much cash.
It doesn't specify exactly how much. It just says a small cache of ransom bills.
They marked ransom bills. They say ransom bills on them. That's funny. These are ransom bills. I would like 250,000 ransom bills, please. I don't want the dollars. I want everyone to know where this came from. That's awesome. Oh boy. But
maybe he hid some of it to make it easier to get out with it without having this huge bag of cash on him.
Maybe. Would they pay him in $5 bills?
20s.
Oh, I'd be pissed. They had $1,000 bills back then, sir.
Oh no, he asked for 20s.
He asked for 20s.
Yep, he wanted $200,000 and $20 bill denominations.
What an idiot! I would want I would want the largest. I would want a Wells Fargo money order. Something I could just put in my pocket and go. Go cash it at some really bad cashing place. I got this money order. I need money. It's from a friend out east. He just wanted me to cash this for him. That's terrible.
And according to the flight crew, the man was very polite. He was never threatening. He never got angry.
They just don't make hijackers like they used to.
Instead, he was courteous, and he even offered to request meals for the crew while they were stopped for the money. I mean,
hey, you want me to buy you dinner?
You want me to
ransom bills.
You want me to request meals as part of the ransom? I mean,
anything you want: steaks, prime ribs, spicy McChicken.
McRib.
Oh man, yeah, like a steak.
Did they have that back in 1971?
No, I think they did have the Aloha Burger though. If you remember that bit of McDonald's history, the Aloha Burger was a hamburger with a slice of pineapple instead of meat. And it had cheese and all the other burger things. I thought it was very, I actually want to try one. It was like grilled pineapple. I bet it's delicious.
That actually ate his drink tab.
Did he really? With ransom bills or real bills? Not real bills, normie bills, as I'm going to start calling them now. I wonder if I can get my work to pay me in ransom bills. Those sound more exotic. You got anything more to add to that? Is there new information surfacing as we speak? Doesn't look like it.
No, I mean there's more fine details.
Of course, there's like little fine details, but I'm gonna go ahead and move on if that's okay then.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to talk about old Roosevelt Bradley in Dayton. I'm not sure which Dayton this is. I had to look, and I'm not really sure, but it really doesn't matter because he was shot while robbing a Dollar General. He walked in there, said he had a gun. Of course, the clerk was like, well, I got one too. Shot the dude in the chest and killed him. That's the short end of the story. The interesting part was the brother and sister of Roosevelt Bradley. Being interviewed by the news saying that this is clearly an excessive use of force. That man had no right to shoot their brother. And they want justice because their brother decided to get murdered while robbing a place. The local police have decided that it is a legal instance and that the store clerk at the Dollar General had every right to defend himself and his business of employment. Not really his business. Could you imagine going to Walmart and seeing someone getting shot for shoplifting? Can you imagine that at all?
No.
I mean, not unless a Dollar General, but you take a major chain like Dollar General is now. Apparently, they pop one up anywhere there's a house and a post office.
There's one in Summersville. That proves your theory.
What? There's one in Birch Tree. Pomona got one now too.
Population 500. And we have a Dollar General.
South Fork, outside of West Plains, like 5 minutes out of West Plains, they have a Dollar General now too. Yeah, it makes zero sense. But this is in a major city. This guy decided he needed a gun to protect himself while at work. Apparently, it was a good time to use it. But the brother and sister, I actually feel kind of bad for them. This is their second sibling to be killed while robbing a store. Apparently there's 10 of them. Now they're down to 8. They're just upset, and they're upset that this man had the right to defend himself during an armed robbery. I don't know what kind of justice they want. I think they just want their brother back. I get that. Probably both of them.
Maybe they need to have a sit down with the rest of their siblings and be like, hey,
Look,
don't rob stores.
robbery is fine. Just don't say you have a gun. you know, it's, upon further investigation, they believe that old Roosevelt Bradley, the police, excuse me, the police believe that Roosevelt Bradley was actually the ringleader of a string of robberies that has been going on for the last 3 years there in the Dayton area.
Oh, damn.
So, I don't know whether it's justice or tragic, but yeah, yeah, no, they were very hysterical. Um, the person giving the interview on the street was just like, well, don't you think? And then they would cut him off and just be like, it just wasn't right. I was like, wow. But that's all I really have on that. You said that you kind of got a little short this week, so do you want me to just carry on, or
Yeah, go ahead and do
yeah,
another.
just let me know when you want to butt in. There's a man in Cameroon. I'm gonna butcher this. I'm gonna butcher this pretty bad.
That's all right to
Cameroon,
make Melissa happy.
Cameroon, no, Nadia. Anyway, it's a state in India. There was a man who was arrested for fraud. They did not give this man's name, so I can't butcher that too. Um, but apparently he was exchanging money for people. He had the promise that he had a technique of changing the Indian rupee, um, not not the Zelda one, but the India one, not the one from Zelda, but
Damn it.
the Indian one. He could change those from rupees to dollars. Now there are U.S. dollars. There's many ways of doing this. The one I could think of is going to a bank and having them exchanged. Um, but this guy could do it with magic. Um, India is actually one of the most, I don't know, they had the most believers of magic, I think, than any other culture in the world. If you get on YouTube and you look up, I don't know, magic in general, especially black magic, you'll find hundreds, if not thousands, of videos of examples by real black magic magicians in India. No, I just got crazy with the quotes. But anyway, he got arrested, and the police said that he had like a bottle of water-like fluid. They didn't say it was water. It's a water-like fluid. And then there was also some white powder. They did not admit that that was cocaine used by the people who were actually falling for this. What he would do is he would say, all right, how much money do you want to change? And they would say, well, for our example, we'll say 100 rupees. And so he would say, okay, well, give me 100 rupees. And so they would put the money in his hand, and he would put the water on it, and the I don't know, the powder. Excuse me. And then he would hand the bills back, and they would be blank. And he would say, now put those in a dark room and let them develop like a Polaroid. Okay, he didn't say like a Polaroid, but as I was reading this, I was just like, oh, just like Andre 3, I don't know, whatever, 2003. I'm butchering all the names today, but anyway, just like the Outcast song, you gotta shake it like a Polaroid picture, and it will magically change into American currency. What they weren't seeing was the sleight of hand tactic, where he was dipping their money into his pocket and giving them blank pieces of paper. Apparently, he managed to fraud out somewhere. But my estimate, because there are going to be people who didn't admit to this happening, obviously, because it's stupid.
It's
I
embarrassing.
I wouldn't. you know, dude's just like, hey, I can make pesos into American dollars. And I'd be like, oh, that's cool. So I'd go to the bank and get like, I don't know, 10,000 pesos and hand it to the guy and he'd walk away with it. Of course, I'd only be out like 30 cents, but still, I'd feel like an idiot. You know? But he's frauded people out of somewhere between 2,100 and 4,000. I'm guessing Indian rupees. Um, I'm kind of curious on how he decided to. This is my scam. This is what I'm gonna be known for. I'm gonna make billions. I'm guessing this was just kind of a side gig. Yeah.
Probably.
But
And remember, folks, when in India, don't run around smashing clay pots to find money.
that's true. Absolutely not. Clay pots are probably not sacred, but they might have cobras in them. If you smash them.
No, if you're running around with a sword, swiping and cutting the grass, they may not complain about that, but I doubt you'll find any.
Yeah, probably
might.
not.
You might, but
Yep.
Or the clay pots.
Never sleep on a carpet. You never know where you'll wake up. Never trust a rope.
And don't be climbing down any storm drain. Just
Did you
or
ever,
eating any weird mushrooms.
did you ever play
Different game, but you know.
Yeah, I was throwing out all kinds of games on that one. Man, Kylie Jenner, have you heard about this? Was I telling you about this? Kylie Jenner is now being described as the youngest self-made billionaire. Kylie Jenner, of course, is the daughter of the famous couple, Bruce and Catherine Jenner.
Yeah.
Or Caitlyn, Bruce and Caitlyn Jenner. I guess are her parents.
Sounds right.
Yeah, you didn't play off that the way I wanted you to, but that's okay because it's just a mild oops. It's okay. Bruce is of course Caitlyn Jenner. I said Catherine because I wrote Catherine down on my board, but it's Caitlyn. Her mother Chris is actually divorced from Bruce some years ago. I also read though that she takes 10% of the earnings from all of her children because she has established herself as management. Some reason Google only shows her it being worth $90 million. I could believe that 10% of $1 billion is 100,000, but you know, and you're taking
100,000.
100 million. Sorry. Okay, I mean, we're just going to want to go down a list of things I can't do. I can't math. I can't pronounce names.
I just, you know.
Sometimes there are times I just don't even think I life right. But
I was either going to be me correcting it or someone in the comments. You know,
it'll be both.
Yeah.
I'll just be like, yeah, Joel was right. It's 90 million and 100 million. You stupid. But that's okay. That's all right, you know.
Hey, it's early. We're allowed.
Yeah, but you know, there's a lot of arguments and a little bit of controversy surrounded by this because she's she came from extreme privilege. You know, she was already rich in her own right. She had a lot to already, you know, she was on like 4 or 5 different reality shows that I guess people watched because we know who she is. She's, as a result of that, she's one of the most followed people on Instagram with like 170 million followers or something like that. She also regularly leaks nudes. So no, seriously. So, okay.
It's the air quotes that always.
The air quotes, because it's just like, oh, it was leaked. She posted it, okay? It wasn't leaked. You know, she's just like an extremely successful cam whore is what she is. You know, the webcam hookers on the internet. That's essentially what I see her as for the most part. Anyway, she's 22. and worth $1 billion now as a result of some pretty lucrative deals in her makeup line. Apparently, Instagram people who have become millionaires are very successful at doing that by specialized makeup. Apparently, there is such a thing for certain areas of your face. Apparently, Kylie's was lips and Ulta, which is kind of like Sophoria. I don't know. It's that makeup store in the mall where I like.
Sephora.
Thank you. Yeah, you know what it is. I now that I am not, in one of those kind of burdening relationships, I don't have to go into that store anymore and just blank out for hours, and then get pushed and say, "Hey, we're ready to go," and I'll snap back to reality. Um, but yeah, Ulta, I guess, had a deal with her, and now all of these younger kids who can't order Kylie's makeup online can now just walk into a store and buy it. So they no longer have to steal mom and dad's credit card in order to buy her makeup. They can actually just go out onto the street and buy it, and it has been extremely successful. They were saying, I don't know. She's gotten multiple offers to sell her business. Kylie says, I don't really think I'm going to go that route. And manager, mom, 10%er says, we are not ruling that out. Well, Kris Jenner just sounds like a real, I don't know, she's just riding coats. Just coattail riding,
It sounds like it to me.
It sounds like it to me. I'm going to move on from that one. North Carolina, speaking of dementia, apparently North Carolina assisted living home had a fight club.
Oh, I think I remember reading about that.
Yeah, it's not super new, but it's not super old either. Three caregivers were arrested after there were reports that there were fights breaking out that weren't being broke up. And turns out that there were videos surfacing of this. I guess it was old folks' home World Star going on at this nursing home because they would basically nitpick fights between two residents and then record it and post it online.
That's atrocious.
That's atrocious. It is atrocious. But, did you watch the movie Fight Club?
I did watch the movie Fight Club.
You did or didn't?
Well, we're not allowed to talk about it, so.
Oh, well, you know the first rule of Fight Club. You're not allowed to remember Fight Club.
But
at least it is in the North Carolina nursing home Fight Club. Not allowed to talk about it. You can't talk about it if you don't even remember it. But no, there was, in all fairness, in all reality.
Where'd you get that black eye, Frank? I do remember.
I fell down some stairs, I think. That's what I was told. No, these people, these three workers, they're arrested. They're in prison. They're atrocious people. Apparently, like, in these videos, you can hear them. Are you recording this? Are you going to send that to me? Blah, blah, blah. It's just not even... It's not even... it's in poor taste, obviously, and it's atrocious. But it's not even, like, well done content, It's just like, somebody just say, hey, shut up, I'm recording this for, legal purposes when we go to prison and they find the video, but the other two want to implicate themselves by constantly babbling on the recordings. I'm going to move on from that.
All right.
You ready? You want to talk about you?
We've actually briefly discussed this before, not on our show, but the first crime in space.
Oh, yes.
we meant to talk about this before, and I think it just kind of got lost in the shuffle.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, it can be good, and it can, I don't know. It just depends on how it plays out, I guess, because it might be super boring. I don't know.
I mean, it's not the most terrifying crime you've ever heard of.
No, I think it's interesting. Like the first space pirate, you know.
It's, allegedly, allegedly, they haven't said if anything was proven yet. Just the allegation was made, so it's being investigated.
Yeah.
But apparently, an astronaut who was in the International Space Station was accused by her ex-wife of plundering her bank account. Now, she admits to logging into the bank account,
From
but they have a
space.
child, and she was
Mm.
just saying, "Look, I was just making sure there was enough funds in there for our child."
I'm in space and I saw this ATM machine and I just wanted to make sure I didn't need to move some money around.
Well, there's electronic transfers.
You're in space. You're blowing millions of dollars of taxpayer money to be there. You can wait.
Actually, isn't NASA's privately funded now? Didn't they?
Is it? Farms
I
farms are privately owned, federally funded. I mean, come on, man.
well,
Yeah,
no, I believe
I don't
NASA is now.
I think that they would have a lot more money if they were privately funded, and we wouldn't be outsourcing our moon plans to other companies if NASA was privately funded. I can't buy NASA stock. I wouldn't, but it's because every time they have a mistake, it costs $1 billion. Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't know. My
I know they
brother-in-law.
talked about it. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I'm
Uh,
not.
from what I understand, there's been rumors going around that it's going to be a private company since I think Clinton. I think the '90s is people have been wanting that.
Yeah, it's not privately funded.
I didn't think so because
I
every
I
time
know
the
the past
government
couple
shuts
years they've been.
down, my brother-in-law doesn't get a paycheck, and
Yeah,
he's a NASA engineer. He's a
that's sweet.
pretty cool guy. Yeah, I like telling my kids he's an astronaut, but his job's I don't know. I don't know what he does, to be honest with you. He probably runs the NASA Fight Club. The guy's huge.
Is that what they do in the space station? They just float around, zero G fights.
Zero G fights. I wonder if
Dude,
that would even hurt.
I'd watch that.
Would that hurt? Can you generate enough momentum to?
There's nothing slowing down your force. There's no
Oh, you could literally explode a dude's head. Then
there's no atmospheric friction.
you can give those Mortal Kombat uppercuts straight to the sun.
Just think, you kick somebody, they fly into a wall, you fly into a wall. It'd just be chaos. I'd watch that.
I think I would too.
Push off a wall and spare tackle them.
That's the MMA of the future. I don't know. I think
zero G fighting.
I think more expert minds need to dive in on that. If you know of any zero G fighting techniques or how that would even work, please respond in the comment section. Because I am actually very interested in this all of a sudden.
We have stumbled into an interesting concept.
Could you imagine if Mayweather and McGregor had their boxing match in space?
McGregor might have had a chance. I don't know.
Maybe. Or maybe it would have been done the first round. In all fairness, McGregor was done in that first round. It was just more or less an expedition fight.
He put up a better fight than I thought was going to happen. That's just...
He didn't put up a better fight. Mayweather just didn't decide to fight until it was over.
That's usually how he does it. He just lets them tire themselves out, which is exactly what happened.
Yeah,
but
it is.
I will say McGregor connected more often than I've seen other fighters do.
He was very sloppy.
But he gassed out really quick.
Yeah, well, yeah. He's only used to fighting like, what, I don't know,
a couple 3-minute rounds,
30 seconds, and it's over.
But he retired, so
I hear he might be coming back.
Oh, I haven't heard that, but it doesn't mean it's not true.
I don't know. There's a lot of MMA fans over on my side of the plant. They were talking about it a couple weeks ago. I don't know. I think the dude just needs to make whiskey and keep beating on elderly men in bars. I think that's a lot more interesting than fights that he gets into legally.
Fair enough.
All right. What were we even talking about?
Oh, the
NASA?
astronaut.
Oh, yeah, the space pirate.
Yeah, the woman who's accused of
The woman at that. But yeah, the child.
plundering her ex-wife's account.
Oh, I forgot she was ex-wife.
You know.
Yeah, I forgot about the.
Or in the middle of a divorce. I mean, it's just.
I don't know.
It says her spouse. So,
yeah,
they're in the middle of a divorce.
It's hard. I mean, there's a study done recently that states that the number one leading cause of divorce is marriage.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
That's terrible right there.
That's terrible. Terrible.
I had to throw that one out there. I always enjoyed it. It was the cause of my divorce. It's like, man, if I didn't get married, I'd never be in a divorce. But anyway, that kind of speed bumped us. What are they actually doing about it? I can't remember.
It's being investigated.
Was the account completely drained, or?
It did.
Now, do you think, just throwing theories out there, do you think that quite possibly she didn't actually drain the account, but being in open space and being that the internet connection, it was probably a little stronger out there in space since there's no atmospheric interference? Do you think that possibly aliens managed to hack that signal and steal the money themselves?
Well, why would aliens need our currency, Todd?
To integrate.
To integrate.
We've got this Bank of America account, but we got nothing to put in it. There is no, I don't know, there's no Romulan to U.S. currency. Where's that guy in India? I bet he can do it. There's no exchange. I don't know. I think if aliens were actually trying to crash our market, they'd just get into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies.
It doesn't even say how much, like if it was drained or it just. But
I don't know. As much as lesbians like to party, I bet it was hundreds of dollars.
Ooh.
Is it true that aliens? I keep going back to aliens, but astronauts don't get paid until they get home, just in case they don't have to?
I don't know anything about that either.
I just made it up. Oh. I'm just curious if it's true or not. So I woke up in a weird mood. Real weird. I don't know. But I don't know. Yeah. I think space piracy is kind of cool. That was actually my favorite part in The Martian with Matt Damon, where he takes, I don't know, what was it, the Chinese thing or the Russian thing or whatever that was also on Mars, and he proclaims himself as the first space pirate. I enjoyed that movie. I actually enjoy a lot of Matt Damon's movies. I felt like he
claimed himself the first Martian. Because, he technically in that movie.
Oh, he settled there, yeah.
Yeah, he settled there. He grew plants.
Yep, from his poo.
Yep, from his own poo. And the other astronauts pooped too.
Oh, yes, that's right. And was forced to listen to disco for like a year and a half or something.
Oh, good. That poor man.
I actually have to say that there is some disco out there. I don't know whether it's actually the disco or funk from the disco era that I enjoy. There's a very fine line between them. But I was in the shower listening to Pandora one time, and this band called Paramount came on. I had to dig into them very deeply because while the rest of the band, and there was a large number of them, were very mediocre, the bass player was just off the hook. He was playing his own song, and it was just extreme progressive. Like I'm talking like riff, rush riffs. I mean, it was very impressive. And I'm
I
sitting there.
found a lot of bass players from back then, especially from the funk era, had some skill. I mean,
They were
their bass lines
crazy.
from back then, yeah.
They were crazy. I mean, their bass lines, I mean, granted they repeated, but they probably had 32 bars in their bass lines that were just massive. And it's just like 2 minutes later, the line finally repeats itself. And it's just like, this is insane, dude. But I don't know. I don't even know where we. Oh, yeah, okay, disco. But I've been
Well,
watching this fat kid dance on Mixer.com lately. I've told you about it.
yeah, yeah.
He recently he okay. This guy, I can't remember his username. I wish I could because honestly, this guy really needs the followers. He needs the viewers. He is very entertaining. He's not the most intelligent guy I've ever seen on the world. Not saying he's extremely stupid. I'm just saying he can barely read. He'll look down and he'll read his comment sections and stumble over just the simplest words. And it's very entertaining. I don't know. Maybe it's just a persona he has online. But he has, and this is upsetting to me, and I'm just going to take a brief moment to say if you're interested in supporting this guy, let me know. I will find a screen and I will send it to you. But he has the amount of followers needed to become partner on Mixer. It's like over 2,000. Um, Supposedly he doesn't have the average viewer rate to become a partner on Mixer. But I've seen other partners on Mixer who have lower viewer rates than him. He has typically when I'm in there, it's only about 15 to 20 viewers, not much, but he's extremely interactive with every single one of them. And his channel's fun. When I'm working on editing and stuff, I normally watch him now. So, but anyway, yeah, that's it. I don't know. They say he can't be partner because reasons.
Hmm.
But he was talking about the money he made during the VIP program, and this is just funny. He's just like, he made, I don't know, he made a few, I don't know, I think it was like $800 he said he made in like the week during the VIP program on Mixer. I was like, that's not a bad haul for a week's worth of streaming. Now, granted, this guy streams between 6 and 9 hours a day,
Damn.
but that's still more than I make.
Yeah.
It's still more than I make a week, and he worked technically less hours. I'm not. I've had my fair share experience of streaming and that much of interactivity. Now, his platform is you request a song, we'll talk about it, I'll dance to it, whatever. And this guy is large, and he's extremely entertaining. His dance moves are. He's a very entertaining guy. I was like, that's not a bad. And he's just like, nah, man. I mean, that money's gone now. I had to pay food, rent, and then he like does this number, and he's like, I bought this disco ball. I'm like, I died laughing. I died laughing. I mean, this guy is so funny. You should definitely check him out. I'll try to find his link and put it in the description. Just support him. I literally want this guy to be a partner on Mixer. He deserves it. Every bit of it. I'll move on. I'll move on. This is kind of old news. It happened last year, but there was a man who was sued by his parents to move out of their house.
I remember that.
Yeah, he was 30 years old, lived rent-free for 8 years. We were watching it, and Tasha and I were watching it last night on YouTube, And there was an interview on CNN, and I can literally see that, as funny as I want this to be, it's still funny. But this guy has obviously suffered a mental breakdown during a custody dispute earlier in his life. And it seems to me he basically just gave up on life. And that's how he ended up in his parents' house for 8 years. You know, apparently he did pay for his own food somehow. Not really sure how. What was funny about the interview is a CNN anchor. She was just like, you know, as a millennial, and he says, I am not a millennial. And the interview just like shut down for a good 30 seconds. She was just like, okay, uh, um, you know, he's 30. I guess that's a millennial. I don't know. I'm really confused on what a millennial is, be honest with you. I think it's just somebody you don't like in a certain age bracket. You know, if they look a certain age and act in a certain way, then you call them a millennial and take a big dump on them. You looking up what a millennial is? Seems to me like a
I'm looking at
millennial
the
would
age
be
bracket.
somebody who was born from 2000 to and on, but that's not a millennial apparently. You know, according to the definition that I saw, it's from like the mid 90s or something like that to whenever. But I guess that's just people who were growing up at the change of the millennia. I don't know. Oh,
Anyone born between 81 and 96,
81 and 96.
ages 23 to 38.
Well, cool. Neat.
Apparently, I'm a Gen Xer.
Apparently, I'm a millennial.
Damn millennial.
bunch of garbage on here. So anyway, yeah, moving on. I'm now a vegan. I only drink $10 coffee.
Are you a hipster now too?
I've always actually been accused of being a hipster. Very regularly. It happens very regularly. Yeah, I used to have long hair. And when I noticed all the other douchey guys with long hair, I cut my hair. But I guess that's also a hipster thing to do. You know, it's like, oh, what I'm doing is becoming popular. I better change. I don't know.
That's usually.
I have no aspiring heroin addiction, though.
I didn't know that was a hipster thing.
I think it is.
Uh,
I don't know. I've seen documentaries. Seem like the hipsters are really attracted to heroin.
okay.
I can't remember what documentary it actually was I was watching, but there was this one girl who was really upset that her job didn't pay enough for her to be able to afford a more regular heroin routine.
I've known several hipsters, and none of them were cocaine or heroin person.
Well, I don't think any of them have a problem with it. I think they all enjoy it a lot.
I'm just saying that.
I don't have a
None of the
problem.
ones I knew were
Heroin users. Hey, you never know in today's world. You know, I'm trying to see, but yeah, no, this guy, his parents ended up actually suing, taking him to court. Judge is just like, hey, dude, get out, would you? Just stop and get out. During the interview, they said that he was very, very weird about it. He was just like, I'm not, you know, my parents want me to get a job. They keep telling me to get a job and get health insurance. And it's like, those are all things that we want. And I can see where this guy's coming from. He said that there are jobs everywhere, yes. And he knows of something he wants to do for a living. He didn't say what it was. But he didn't have the means to make that happen, but he is working on it. It sounded to me like he had a plan to have a plan. And that should be good enough for all of us. I mean, yeah,
I plan on doing it, so that should be all right.
I plan on making a plan. I have a plan formed in my head. I just need a plan on how to make it happen. You know, just bust out like Kylie Jenner, man. I mean, get rich parents. Get just completely, just start sending nudes and sell makeup. Easy win. Homeless, buy a house. No big deal. You know, don't live in your parents' home. Just go buy your own. It's only money.
Yeah.
It's only money. It's only money. Yeah. I don't know. You know, I thought that I thought I had a lot more than that. I actually probably do. But no, that guy just got kicked out of his house. I had his name and everything written down, but on all reality, I don't remember where I put that. I had some more intricate details, but apparently he is still suffering through this this custody case that he went through, and it was obviously very traumatizing for him, as it would be any parent who actually cares. but yeah, he's still living in that world, and he's having a lot of trouble moving on. I think they maybe could have been a little more sympathetic towards him on TV. I think that I honestly think, granted it was a year ago now, I actually meant to look up to see where he's at now. You know, I feel like once you're on TV, you're basically able to track that person for the rest of their life. You know, it's like, what happened to that dude who ran that stop sign 5 years ago? You could probably find out. You know,
Maybe.
it's like once your name surfaces in the media now, it's like you're just celebrity forever. I don't know.
Is that how it works?
I think so. I think that's how it works. You know, it's just like, oh, where are they now? You know. Oh, incidentally, I've been working on this. This is a little self-improvement thing I've been working on here lately. I've actually gone 2 weeks now without reading any clickbait articles.
Ooh.
I don't know if I've discussed this, but clickbait has been a real problem for me for years. I'll know it's clickbait. I will know that it is nothing but ad revenue these people are spewing into me for a story that's maybe 2 sentences. And, you know, I will click every single one of those slideshows. I will go down, I'll top 50. I'm looking for number 51, you know, by the end of it. But yeah, no, I've noticed that it's a massive time killer, and I'm just like, we got to do something about it. And so I'm 2 weeks sober from clickbait now.
Good for you, sir.
Yeah,
Proud.
just on them steps. I think there's just one. Just don't. Just say no.
Just say no.
Just say no to clickbait.
Do you have a sponsor?
No, I would like a sponsor though. You get paid with sponsors. If you would like to sponsor the Verbal Nonsense podcast, please let us know.
We will push your product.
We will push it down everyone's throats. I would say help support the channel, but we don't spend any money doing this, so
Not much anyway. I've spent a little on it.
yeah, I don't know. I've spent like maybe $50. I don't know. 75.
I was gonna say we've spent at least 50 a piece. Just
75, yeah. 75 I think is what I've spent total. I would say that the equipment that I have bought as a result of this, I use it more for other things than I actually do for this, so I'm okay. I don't count that. I should count it. What do you think? Yeah, I don't know. Who cares? Like, no, the best way, honestly, to support the channel is just by like and subscribe and tell your friends about it. If you enjoy it, if you enjoy funny moments, just say, hey, check out this part.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't have to watch the whole freaking thing. I don't even watch the whole thing.
Just watch the parts that you're interested in.
Just watch the parts I tell you to.
Todd will direct you through our show.
I will. You hit me up on I don't care, on our page and on the old Facebook page, and I will guide you through each episode. Actually, I'll just copy and paste the time links. That's about it. This one's pretty good. This one's pretty good.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, definitely, you know, serious support would be cool. A little more, little interaction. I'm not saying a little more. I'm not pushing for you to say anything you don't want to say. That all came out very wrong. I enjoy the comment section. I enjoy reading them. Joel enjoys reading them.
Yeah.
You know, we enjoy it. Like Joel said a few weeks ago, subscribing is free. It doesn't cost you a dime. And I'm actually, unless you've got something else, I'm actually going to call it.
No, I think we're good here.
All right. So, but anyway, thank you for enjoying it, because I know you did, because I told you to earlier. I think.
Okay, thanks.
I think I told you to. If not, you better have enjoyed. Because I'm Todd and I said so.
And I'm Joel.
Yeah,
thanks for watching.
Thank you very much.